Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. My name is Brian. I'm here with Allison, and this is Maintaining Frame number 171. Don't lie, girls. 7 red flags you need wait, what? 7 red flags you need male validation.
Yeah, you're a pick me.
Yes.
Basically, I mean, like, let's say it simply. 7 red flags, you're a handmaiden of the patriarchy, or you're a pick me.
Right.
Because, every woman deserves to arrange her life in whatever way she wants, except this way. In terms of pleasing men in any capacity or caring about them.
Liberation,
anyway.
asterisk.
Liberation, yes. Asterisk. Yeah, read the fine print, ladies. Not quite liberation. Hey, this is my you have water. You have like multiple sources of water. This is mine. Okay. All right.
So
sorry, Void Cat is making an appearance.
It's all right. We're looking at an article on Medium. I'll share it, but we're going to be listening to it because I can't look at it anyway. But it's from a Medium. Sorry, but if you relate to these 7 physical signs, you might be hooked on male validation. Don't lie, girl. I know you're not okay.
Okay. Could I just point something out just right off the bat?
Sure.
They're not talking about like men respecting or approving, like not just like respect women, but for example, respecting your abilities with your job or respecting talents or skills when they talk about being hooked on male approval, or just caring about men because they're your fellow citizens and passengers on this great adventure called Planet Earth. No, they're not talking about that. This woman is talking about hooked on being men's attention and men's sexual desire. So this has nothing to do with any kind of platonic resonance, emotional resonance with men. It's all just, are there eyeballs on you and do you make their dick hard? That's it. I just wanted to point that out because I've read the list. Well, maybe I should. Spoilers. Sorry, guys. If you were thinking it was going to be some deep philosophical treaty about agape, I think it's called agape, or platonic love, or mutual respect, or being your brother's keeper. No, it's not. It's all just, do they pay attention to me? Do I make their dick hard? And then it's like, so, and I get the sense that is the entire world of this human, even though she denies that she is fixated upon this. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Maybe that was a pre-rant. I seem to be under attack by Void Cat, so she's
that's fine. So this is a rant before the rant, and
this is
a rant appetizer.
This is a rant warm up.
Yep.
A pre-rant.
This
is a rant tapas.
Premature rant, a little bit premature. So yeah, do the things, and then we'll get into the article.
I'm sorry, I have premature rant dysfunction. All right, so if you would like to send us a message, the very best way to okay, you really want this water, don't you? Okay, well, guess what? You're gonna have to go over there to get it now. I'll get myself a new freaking mug. Oh, no, you just want to harass me. It was never about the water. It was the fact that I was not giving it to you. Okay. I have to squish the cat. Squish that cat. All right. If you would like to send a message at any point throughout the show, please do so at feedthebadger.com/justthetip. That's feedthebadger.com/justthetip. Very best way for you to send us a message, and the very best way for you to give us a tip, which is always appreciated. So feedthebadger.com/justthetip. The monthly fundraiser is live at feedthebadger.com/support. And I want to do a big thank you to everybody who supported Brian. We actually got funded even before that I thought it would. I put the deadline on Sunday, and Machine, one of our supporters, put in the final bit on Saturday. So we got funded a day early. And so Brian is out of the woods, but also in the woods with his close encounter, the Cervidae kind. But
the woods were on me.
Yeah,
and I assume this is one of those machines that Hassan is always talking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Okay. That probably is the reference. You're all machines, guys. You're all talking point machines. You're all boundary boundary setting machines.
Yep.
All right, but that one machine in particular put Brian over the top. So thank you to Machine, and thank you to everybody else who supported. Very much appreciated. And not so much thank you to Voidcat, because I think she's decided that this stream should die, maybe out of solidarity with the sisterhood. So anyway, those are the things that you should do. They're in the low bar. In particular, send us a comment at feedthebadger.com/justtip. So, okay, let's go.
Let's get into the article. So we're just going to listen to it being read by this person here. So let's go.
Sorry, but if you relate to these 7 physical signs, you might be hooked on male validation. Don't lie, girl. I know you're not okay. By Rini. 1.5K likes. Call me Amy Dunn, minus the murder, the hair dye, and the crazy, because I'm about to rant and warn you about the silent ways you're screwing yourself over chasing male validation.
I'm missing a reference. Is Amy Dunn?
Amy Dunn is the main character from Gone Girl. So literally, like, the worst person you would think a woman would want to compare herself to, and she does.
Yeah.
Amy Dunn is the protagonist.
Yeah.
Of Gone Girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some people say that it's like women comparing themselves to Amy Dunn is the same as men comparing themselves to Patrick Swayze in Bateman. Yeah, Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. However, there are some key differences. I think most of the time they're just identifying with his sense of nihilism, not his murderous rampage. And also, Patrick was a sort of a social justice warrior type, from what I remember. Maybe it was just intended to be humorous, but
I think that, like, actually, it's funny you should bring up American Psycho. I just did a discussion about American Psycho for another guy's channel because he wanted to talk about movies and he enjoys my insights. And I think that it's funny that you should mention it because I think most of the time when men claim that they relate to Patrick Bateman, it's mostly ironic. Because they know that the writer and the director was trying to say something about men and they were using him as the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, this is you. And they're like, okay, then. Yeah, it is. And so they're just sort of going along with it because they're being told, you know, this is you. And so they're adopting the Patrick Batemanisms ironically in order to piss people off because the idea is to shame men into some kind of behavior or make them, you know, ashamed of who they are. And so they're like, nah, we're not going to do that. So I think most of the you know, the memeing of Patrick Bateman and American Psycho is ironic and tongue-in-cheek, but you're right about the nihilism, like the sort of like desire to connect that he has as a character, and also the social justice thing, because there is a scene in the movie where he goes on a bit, he's like with his coworkers and friends, like basically people he associates with, and they're talking about like how they can make the world better, and he goes on a rant on all the things that we need to do, but he doesn't believe any of it. He's just saying it because he wants to fit in. So that, and this is another thing that is that's why I think that character is a lot deeper than Amy Dunn, because you know he's actually speaking to something real. Like, we live in a world where everyone expects you as a man to have certain beliefs and say certain things, and Bateman, because he wants to fit in, he just does those things. And it makes him like acceptable, even though he's a psychopath. So like, you know, and this is actually like kind of the male feminist, right? Like minus the muscles and the height and the good looks and everything. But like all the other stuff. Yeah, no, it's true though. Like he checks all the boxes. So yeah, Amy Dunn is just she's just the worst. I don't know what else to say about that.
Well, there's also ambiguity in American Psycho. You don't know if he actually kills anyone or just
it's a very unreliable narrator.
Yeah, he's a very unreliable narrator. You also see the hoof prints of him descending into psychosis, whereas Amy Dunn is just a psychopath.
Yeah,
like there's no excuse for what she did.
Oh, and she literally destroyed a guy's life. Like, the worst thing American Psycho that Pat Bateman's guilty of is killing a couple of prostitutes. Maybe.
Oh, ouch. So, well, yeah, maybe. That's the question. We don't even know. Well, like, it's not the narrative is so fractured that we don't know what he did. It looks more like he's having like a schizophrenic break from reality more than anything. So it's
Yeah.
it's a bit of a different message. And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
noticed that they identify with the cool girl speech, how you have to be
Oh yeah.
cool and chill and all of that stuff. And but of course the
Essentially just
implication,
the
the
idea that
impl-
men have like something they'd like to see in women. That's what
yeah,
because like, the cool girl is basically a woman. They would say it's a series of contradictions that women can't possibly meet. But the truth
mm,
is that men just want women that bring them peace. That's
yeah.
it.
Well,
They don't want them to be quarrelsome.
the point that I was going to make was that she's talking about, and she's projecting this at a woman, and she's talking about how this woman's just behaving in this way in order to be accepted by men, and which is really funny because she's essentially a reptile in a sheep's skin, pretending
Mhm.
to be a human being, not just a cool girl, but pretending to have like human, emotional attachments and human understanding, and when she is actually a predatory reptile. And she's looking at this woman and saying, oh, look at her, she's laughing and she's happy and she's a cool girl, she's putting it on for a man. And then the camera turns and you can see it's two women in a car. So
Yeah.
the overall message of that is not actually, oh, how horrible it is to be a cool girl. The overall message is actually pointing back at Amy Dunn for her hatred of men and her distaste for men. And the cool girl concept it's ridiculous. But I guess we're going to go a little bit further into it as we go into this
Yep.
article. So,
All right, let's do it.
Male validation is almost like a drug for many. Sometimes it's really subtle, sometimes it's obvious. But when you start craving it too much, it shows. Not just in your behavior, but in your body. You feel drained, anxious, restless, and half the time, you don't even realize why. Doesn't matter what your age is. You could be a 21-year-old naive college girl or a 58-year-old beautiful woman. If you're still stuck in this toxic loop, it's time to break free. Because it's not just in your head anymore. It's in your posture, your habits, your sleep, your energy, and it fucks you up more than you think.
What?
You have to understand that when we open the window and look into this world, these women's entire existence revolves around attention from, well, not caring about men, just attention from men and desire from men. They don't have anything else. I mean, that's the real problem here, is that they haven't developed any other aspect of themselves, right? So it's like, and now she's going to pin her thin bubble veneer of materialism stretched over a chasm of nihilism on men, because they're not giving her enough attention to distract her from her own imminent death, I guess.
Yeah. Ironic.
It's another world. It's another world. And again, she's not talking, like when she talks about women being centered on men, she's not talking about women caring about men's opinions when it comes to any kind of skill set or any kind of ethical or moral system, like not that. And she's not talking about caring about men when it comes to the issues and concerns they have. No, her entire understanding of centering around men is wanting to get attention from them and sexual validation.
Right. So it's like what a lot of women online do now. Like whether they're posting their cosplays or their bikini bodies or their engagement ring. No, there's I'm go ahead. What were we gonna say about cosplay?
Cosplays. I will stand up for the cosplayers. By the way, you're a little bit off to the right on or left on my. I will stand up for the cosplayers because they put a lot of work into what they do. Maybe the laziest cosplayers might be like that, but there has to be more of a desire for craft and excellence with cosplay. So I'm going to stand up for them. Not maybe the snooty ones, you're right, but I don't know.
That's
like not
what I'm
all
talking about. I'm not talking about the ones that spend like all their time in the garage, like, you know, crafting like the pieces to their costume. I'm talking about the
Mhm.
ones that put on like booty shorts and you know, orange booty shorts and a purple top and say they're doing Dora the Explorer, right? But like that's a lot
Sexy
of them.
Dora?
Like that's a lot of them, okay? And they post on
Okay.
Instagram and stuff, or they're in the gym, you know, getting good video of the pussy fat, or they're whatever. Like but I'm saying you can find it, like, or they're trad wives baking, you know, baking some fucking sourdough with their titties out, or they're showing their engagement ring. All of it, they're showing off their kids, like how many kids they have. All of it is for attention generally, but they know they can get it more easily from men. So like yeah, this is, and look, I'm not even throwing shade at that. I'm not angry about that. It doesn't bother me. But like what she is taking issue with seems to be something she would have to like disagree with, like a lot of women, a lot of them. And she's got to make the claim that it's only for men, which I don't think is true. I think that a lot of
Yeah, I get
what
what you're
women
saying.
seek online, the male attention is another aspect of their own intersexual competition with other women.
Yes.
So they can say, look
Yes.
at how many followers I got. Look how many thirsty dudes I have. I
Yes.
posted this one thirst trap and I got this much. Because it's not like they want anything from those men except to use them as a
Yeah.
scoring point system, you know?
Yeah, that's yeah, and that is a really good point. So when she talks about centering men, she's probably talking about competition with other women over men's attention and men's sexual desire. And I'm not quite sure what her angle is here. Maybe she's trying to tell all the other women to put their weapons down before she does or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go a little bit further.
Okay.
Most of these come from my own experience, and I'm sharing them in case you ever find yourself in a similar situation. This isn't about blaming anyone. Men or women, it's just my way of trying to help. Now, let's do this.
Okay, so now she's going to go through the list. Somebody in the chat said cosplay is at least a hobby. I think that's a special chat.
Yeah.
Would you agree though that there is such a thing as a fake cosplayer in the same way that there's a fake nerd? Like a woman who just buys like a Spider-Man costume that's skin tight and just puts it on, and it's not made of anything. It's just like some spandex and calls it cosplay. Like, I'm sorry, but I think that there's a difference between someone who puts some effort in and someone who just says, I want to show off my body, but I'm going to use like I'm going to wear the mask of something nerdy because I know more men will click on it. You know, if I'm dressed as, the White Queen or something, and I'm basically just wearing white lingerie. I think and I'm just saying, I'm not, again, I get it if you're a hobbyist, but come on, like, anyway, now I'm getting called sexist. Cool.
It doesn't
Achievement
matter.
unlocked. No, I know. I don't care.
Yeah, any criticism of women is sexist, but men are fair game. You can criticize every aspect of their being.
Yeah.
And
All
if
right.
you disagree with that, you're sexist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay.
Now, let's do this. 1. You constantly feel anxious about your appearance. It's obvious, but the common sign. Even when you're just stepping out for 5 minutes, you can't relax unless you look good. You're adjusting your top, checking your reflection 10 times, wondering if your hair looks okay. And you're not doing it for you. It's the silent pressure of, what if I run into a guy? Your body is on high alert, trying to be desirable. It's not self-care, it's self-surveillance. And it's exhausting.
Why are you trying to be desirable? Are you looking for a partner?
Isn't it?
And if
Isn't
you're
it
desirable, why
possible?
haven't you found one?
Yeah.
And also, this is your choice, right? It's your choice to constantly do this because the validation you get from men's sexual interest, and in particular rejecting it, probably is so enticing that you continue to do it. You've centered your sense of worth on this. I think
everybody, it's not unhealthy to care about your appearance regardless of sex. No, I'm just saying, because when she's framing it in a certain way, and I don't know how applicable that is to the average person, at least the average woman. unless like you're on the prowl.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, let's.
But anyway,
that.
that's kind of like a non case anyway.
But
because
here's
I
the thing. But this is also her actively choosing something. Okay, she's not centering men. She's centering the feelings that she gets from men.
Yes.
That's like saying men center women. Like men center women because they like their boobs. No,
Yes.
a little bit. Like it might be a little bit. Men center women because they like to get baked goods from them. I don't know. It's like it's
a bit of an oversimplification
of what she's doing. I don't think so.
No,
like,
of what? No, no. I think she's doing that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an equivalent that men do, but it's a little more difficult because they're more wrapped up in protecting and providing for women. So it's that. But
wouldn't feminists get upset by that, or like women would, because they'd say, "I don't do this for men. I do this for myself."
Yeah.
Like I don't like. That's the thing. Like, what is this argument? Like, wouldn't if a man said this? He'd get raked over the coals. We don't do this for you, but she knows. In this case, she knows they actually are doing it for men.
No, they're not doing it for men. I go push back on that. They are doing it for the feelings that men give them.
I know, but I'm saying that's her claim.
Yeah,
she's making the claim that they do it for men because they feel anxious about their appearance.
Oh yeah, and then when it's more convenient, they'll make the claim that they're not doing it for men.
Right, that they're doing it for
because when men respond to the signals that they're putting out, that I want to elicit desire from men, and then men actually hit on them and they don't like that, then they want to say, no, I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it to elicit any emotion in you, men. So leave me alone. Yeah, so I get what you're saying now, but in this case, she's doing it for the feelings that men give her.
Mm-hmm.
That's not centering men. It's not. I'm centering this group of people because I like what they do for me.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, she's not. Yeah. It's nothing to do with men. It's about her feelings.
Yeah.
And it's not even real. It's like her imagined feelings about men, of what men feel. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Okay. 2. You physically shrink in male company. You notice your posture changing when there's a guy around. You cross your arms, sit a little tighter, lower your voice, maybe even suck your stomach in. It's like you're trying to be smaller, more agreeable, more dainty, or fragile. You're not relaxed. Your body is trying to protect you by making you less intimidating. That's not confidence. That's centuries of conditioning kicking in, and your body is carrying that weight, literally. 3.
Okay, stop.
I did. I just want to let the whole point play out.
Centuries of conditioning.
Yeah,
my dear. I think we're listening to an immortal, or maybe the undead. You haven't had centuries of conditioning, right? And first of all, what define guy in this instance? Because I don't think you do this with the electrician, or the garbage man, or the guy who cleans your windows, or the guy who empties your garbage, or the guy who's cleaning the floors in your tower. I don't think you do it with those guys.
Yeah.
I think at best you treat them like a nuisance. Maybe your boss, maybe men you find attractive. I make myself attractive to men I find attractive, women most affected, also centuries of oppression. If men did crap like this, they would say things like women should have to pay for our gym memberships. Like, I am oppressed because I'm going to the gym to make myself attractive to women. That we should have it's the gym membership tax, guys. Let's mobilize on it and make women make women take it out of their taxes. Oh, this is such a level. What did Nietzsche call it? Nietzsche, is it Nietzsche? Nietzsche. Reticent. I'll figure out how to pronounce. I'll figure out how to pronounce it. Just keep going.
All right. Let's play some more. No. I mean, I think again, there's like a lot of presumptions made here. Just like men exist, women most affected. Like, okay.
You exhaust yourself trying to be effortlessly cool. You're not allowed to be needy or loud or too emotional. You have to be the
Yes,
chill,
you are.
always fun, never dramatic.
Let me finish
Who's
this.
stopping
This is
you?
the chill girl thing. What? No one's stopping anybody from doing anything.
Can I
They
just
want to
say one
speak,
thing?
they can stop. Okay.
Just one thing. All right. She just wants something from men. And there are requirements that she thinks, because I'm not so sure men really require these things. I think it's just the men that she's going after, which isn't just highly desirable men. It's highly desirable men who are willing to play this retarded game with women. And she's going after these men, and they have particular criteria for her to extract the resource she wants out of them, and she's upset over that. That is the
Mhm.
most entitled, rapey attitude. Like, if you want men's attention, then you are going to have to engage in the behaviors that the men whose attention you want are interested in. The end. If you don't want to engage in those behaviors, don't. But you're going to have to give up the attention. Like,
Yep.
I'm sort of, I'll think about an equivalent male thing, like, but that's astounding. Like, men aren't obligated to give you their attention. So if you don't want to engage in the behaviors, then you don't get men's attention. I think that's what she's struggling with. All right.
Yep. Okay.
Always fun, never dramatic, always low maintenance. And pretending to be that 24/7, that's straight up physical labor. You hide your real feelings. You fake calm. You walk on eggshells so you don't seem clingy. Your body is
Are you
tired
like
of constantly
you
pretending
a
to be someone it's not.
reptilian
Just
alien
seek
invading
attention.
Earth?
Say what?
Is she a reptilian alien invading Earth? Like, who the hell is she? Okay, I'll let
She
her finish
knows
with
she
that.
knows how all women are when they like, so basically there is no such thing as an actually like chill girl, because
Yeah, I would agree with
anytime
that.
there no, I don't know. I mean, anytime there is one, it can't be real, and she's just being fake because of men. Like, I don't know. I mean,
Well,
if it isn't, ladies, you guys don't have to lie to us. You know, if you're all histrionic basket cases, then just be that way, and we'll just deal with it accordingly. So
yeah,
don't lure us into this false sense of security that, oh, this one's okay. I mean, everybody has their moments, you know.
yeah, and honestly, this just speaks to what we've discovered from what has been confirmed by the T app, that women are going after men who make their girlfriends jealous, which means each of those men they're going after has many, many multitudes of other females interested in him. And again, these are just desirable men willing to play this dumb game. And they're going to be able to demand quite a bit, and which is really ironic because they complain about men wanting women with certain types of personalities, which really just amounts to occasionally allows you to be alone or just do your own thing, and
Yeah.
that's the average dude. The average dude does not demand this level of inoffense in his life. Like you just demonstrated, Brian. You're like, okay, if women are histrionic or whatever, we'll just deal with it. Right? That's more of the average dude. He's willing to deal with a bit more of the woman. But a guy who has, 75 of you on retainer is not willing to deal with
And he shouldn't.
anything. He
Why
shouldn't.
would he
Yeah, he's
bother?
not gonna. Why bother? You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, good. Yep. I'm ejecting you from the Pez dispenser, new Pez. And it's like, well, okay, that's the life you're gonna. So they complain about the much sort of lower stat. Like, if a man is willing to share his life with you, he's going to expect a human being, right? And if he knows anything about women, he's going to expect a little chaos. Okay.
Yep.
Therefore, he is going to have actually fundamentally not just, I won't say lower standards because loyalty is a substantial issue, but he's going to expect a human being. But if you keep going after men who have, like I said, 75 of you on retainer, he's not going to expect a human being. He's going to expect someone on their very best behavior for as long as she's in his company. And that's your choice, lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
This could be her own tactic of like beating out the competition because maybe
Yeah.
she thinks if she can convince her competition to
That's what I was
behave
thinking.
opposite of this, and those women will take themselves out of
Yep.
the pool, and then she has like better odds with this like, you know, one percenter that she's after. Maybe. I mean,
Yep.
I'm speculating quite a bit, but I could see it. All right,
Yep.
let's play the next one. I'm gonna let this whole thing play, and then I'll pause it and you can respond. So number 4.
4. You get random bouts of body dysmorphia. You're feeling great until he takes hours to text back or doesn't compliment you. Suddenly, your face looks
Well,
weird.
there we go.
Your body looks bloated. It's not, but you think it does. Your confidence crashes out of nowhere. It's not about how you actually look. It's about tying your self-worth to how much he seems to want you. And when that drops, your entire perception of yourself gets distorted. Your body becomes the punching bag for your disappointment.
He doesn't text back in a couple hours. Well, that seems to be a very trivial thing. Sounds like you're just really neurotic. It's not a matter of decentering men. It's like, this is what another thing. If we're dealing with somebody who actually is sort of somewhat reasonable, you know, which I doubt, but let's just assume she's offloading responsibility for her own neuroticism onto men. She's like, oh, I center men. No, you're a neurotic. Right?
Yeah, this woman's
If-
walking red flag.
If it wasn't men that you wanted something from, you'd center your neuroticism on, I don't know, slot machines. You'd center your neuroticism on the stock market. You'd center something, right? So you're just a neurotic. Men have nothing to do with this. Okay.
Yep. Okay, number 5.
5. You say yes when your gut screams no. He wants to meet. You're tired. He wants to talk. You're not in the mood. He flirts.
Oh,
You feel
okay.
uncomfortable, but you still go along with it. Because
why?
saying no feels rude or scary or like you might lose
Wait,
him.
what?
Your
You
stomach
don't know
knots.
how to stare. You're
Your
telling me,
shoulders tighten.
okay.
Your body
I'm
reacts
seeing a
every time you
picture here.
betray your own boundaries to seem nice. But you ignore it. That gut feeling, that's your body trying to protect you. And you keep silencing it.
Okay, so every dude that comes up to her, she's so unfailingly polite. Every dude, like she's married to Oscar the Grouch because Oscar the Grouch came up to her one time and said, "Hey, baby," and she just couldn't say no. I just watched a documentary on Sesame Street.
On
My
Sesame
apologies.
Street?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why that reference came. But it's like
They're trying to protect the show, huh? Was it like a newer documentary?
it was an older documentary. I don't know what
Hmm.
they're doing right
Okay.
now. I'm just talking about my memories as a child. No
Yeah.
doubt they're being violated currently by some nonsense. But regardless, you know, or the equivalent. Like, I would imagine that Oscar. No, maybe he isn't. Maybe he's not a zero. But anyway,
He's a Sigma. He was the original Sigma.
he was the original
Sigma
Sigma.
male.
So maybe,
Yeah.
poor example. Let me try again. She is currently married to what's the opposite of Chad? Steve.
I don't
Virgin
know,
Steve?
actually. I
Yeah.
have no idea. I guess virgin. Yeah,
Chuck.
sure, whatever.
Let's go with Chuck. She's married to
Okay.
Chuck because she couldn't say no to no. I'm pretty sure this woman can say no to a man she doesn't find attractive. Voidcat has decided
again,
that this stream is
think-
not going to happen.
I think she's doing because like why would a woman who doesn't have an interest in a man still desire attention? Like how could she also still be a pick me? I don't know unless the logic is that you're so desperate for male validation that you'll let them do unspeakable things to you without your consent so you get that validation because you're too afraid of rejection. It doesn't actually make sense. Like it doesn't make sense. And I think this is another way that she's trying to take women out of the competition because if you can convince women that I think she thinks that she can just propagandize women out of competition by telling them, actually, you may think that you like want to hang out with him, but you actually don't. It's it's like the devil on your shoulder.
Mm, yeah. All
Uh,
right. No,
all right, let's do
honestly, I was reading the chat and trying to figure out something that the chatters were conveying in terms of information.
the
It was a little confusing
verticals.
for me. Yeah, not the verticals. It was the horizontal. The vertical has been quiet. I remember you guys got a huge influx last Tuesday, but then for whatever
Yeah, it's
reason,
hard to
usually
predict how it's gonna go.
if we talk about Trump or Carney, it usually goes up. But yeah, yeah, I think last week you talked about the American or the Canadian hockey team that was accused of a good portion
Yes.
of the hockey team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
the
it was
Canadian
just
hockey
dismissed
team.
because
Well, yeah, that's like big. I guess if it's big news, I don't know if that was big news, but it was news. Anyway, so number 6, I think we're on. So let's
yeah,
go.
let's keep on.
6. You struggle with sleep and restlessness after rejection. He ghosts. He flirts with someone else. He loses interest.
Wait,
And suddenly, you can't eat. You can't sleep. You're staring at your phone like it holds your value. Your body treats rejection like trauma because it's not just him leaving. It's the loss of validation you were feeding off. Your nervous system crashes. You spiral. You panic. It's not just heartbreak. It's withdrawal.
This is dramatic.
Well, I guess that speaks to my original impression that this is not really about men. It's about the validation or the emotions that men give women. And I actually, the more that I listen to, and this is why I've sort of done this series, these like women who talk about relationships, the more I suspect that they're not even interested in the man. They're just interested in how he makes her feel. And a big subset of that is how he makes her girlfriends feel jealous because then she can feel dominant over them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I don't know, it's like I would say that a lot of men's actual desires in a relationship revolve around wanting a woman who actually wants a relationship with them as a man. That makes sense, rather than a woman who just wants a feeling or a sense of validation or attention, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then women will turn around and say, well, all men want is for women to reduce their expectations. And it's like, no, they just want you to understand what it is to be in a relationship with another human being emotionally, not just wanting that human being to give you a feeling constantly. What does that mean? Like, and it's a lot of women, judging from all of this dating stuff that they talk about, they don't understand the distinction between wanting to be in a relationship with a man and wanting to have access to the feelings that he gives them, otherwise known as romance.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
7. You always feel like you're performing. Even when you're alone, you're kind of on. You pose prettier in the mirror. You rehearse how you'll act next time he sees you. You mentally draft cute texts. You imagine his reaction to your outfit, your story, your photo. The male gaze is real, and it's brutal. You don't even remember what it's like to just exist without being watched or without trying to be wanted. That's not confidence. That's constant performance. And your body is exhausted from it.
So the male gaze includes women wanting to be seen by men?
Yes.
I thought
I
that was
guess.
just men. Wasn't the male gaze a thing from film where the camera slowly pans up a woman from toe to face?
Apparently,
It's
it's
also
expanded,
just
right?
like women wanting to be seen by men as the male gaze. Okay.
Yeah, women want, because women don't have a personhood. See, that the men not only gaze at women, but they are also in women's head, making women want to be gazed at. It's like
Mhm.
this is this is the modern woman's eternal battle with her animus, I think. She's that with any idea that she has to do anything in order to get something from men, and that her desire for even men's validation, which has nothing to do with centering men, nothing at all, that is somehow something that men inflict on her. But simultaneous with that, I'm guessing this woman has no idea of who she is without men's attention and validation and the emotions that men give her, or at least the emotions that men put in her girlfriends in terms of jealousy. Like this is something that I've noticed with women. What are you outside of the emotion of the moment? Right? I had this recent argument with a woman on Twitter. Actually, this is not quite an emotion of the moment. It's more like trying to conceive of things that are outside of men's control. And I was explaining to her that the reason why women are going to lose their rights is not because men are going to take them away, but because women are going to fail in their roles of stewards of the cultures that give them their rights, or as they conceive of them. Because I'm pretty sure that most cultures gave women certain rights and privileges that were reasonable within the time and scope.
Survive as a civilization, right? Yeah.
But they.
Well, what is the end? Because this is the 7th point. I haven't gotten to the very end here, but like, if you take all the things that she has listed off, and I know this isn't intended to be prescriptive, but like, what kind of world does she want to live in if you take this to its ultimate conclusion? Because it sounds Islamic to me. So is that what you want? Like, do you want women in burqas that like basically just live, in the home and they get driven around by men? That way men don't objectify them. They don't ghost them because you're assigned a husband and he is supposed to take care of you. I mean, is that the world she wants? Because like anything else, even a woman showing her eyes, is like potentially like,
the male gaze.
Yeah, like trying, I guess, like being a pick-me, because she'll do her eyes up really well and get the nice, like the nice eyeliner and stuff. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what is the logical conclusion of what she is driving at. Of course, women like this will never tell you what they actually want. They just want to talk around it endlessly. That's what it's about. It's about the dialectic just continuing and continuing and continuing. But if I look at this, it's like, sounds like you want to live in an Islamic state. So
it's the emotion in the moment. But to finish what I was going to say about the woman that I'm having an argument with on Twitter, I said that women aren't going to lose their rights because men take them away. They're going to lose them because they fail to properly steward the society that gives them to them in the constellation that this society does. Okay. And this woman said, will you believe that women should have their rights taken away? And I'm like, it's not about whether or not you are owed your rights or whether or not I believe women should have their rights taken away. It is about simple reality. If you jump off a cliff, you are going to go splat. You can, as you're falling off the cliff, you can think, oh, I should have the right to jump off a cliff and not go splat all you want, but you're still going to go splat. And she went back and forth and back and forth. And it just occurred to me, she doesn't understand that there are things outside of men's control, specifically men in our culture's control, things that they can't stop. So she does not understand the idea that women will lose their rights because of their own failures due to outside circumstances that men do not control, because she can't conceive. She cannot conceive of anything outside of men's control. She can't conceive of it. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I think that a woman who can conceive that there are things that men do not control, therefore things that happen to women that aren't a result of men failing to live up to some standard or failing to uphold their rights, but simply happen to women because women's actions cause them to happen, right? That is decentering men. I don't know what the hell she's on. I mean, we're at the 7th, so maybe the final piece will fall into place and we'll have a moment of complete clarity. But this is my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna get like a seven style ending. If you ever seen the movie, What's in the Box?
Mm-hmm.
What I really think, wanting to be seen is human. Craving connection is normal. But when your body starts paying the price for male validation, when your sleep, energy, and confidence revolve around what men thinks, that's not normal. That's self-abandonment. Fight against the conditioning that says women are made only for male pleasure. Stop letting movies, books, or society convince you that you have to be beautiful and earn male validation to be the main character in your own damn life. You get to decide that, not them. Your body deserves more than this tug of war. It deserves peace,
Okay.
ease, safety, and no amount of attention from any man is worth losing that. Ever notice this difference between women who've decentered men and those
Stop.
who
This is
haven't?
the next tab.
And I'm
Like,
still
this is
someone-
her next article
Yeah,
because she does
yeah.
article after article after article on how she's decentered men, or she's trying to decenter men, or whatever else. Okay. So that's her final point. Yeah, but if you decenter men, you no longer get their validation. And now you're left with the validation of your sisters. Good luck.
Wild.
Okay.
Are we playing the next article?
Did you have any thoughts on the 7th? Did everything come into place?
Yeah, no. I mean, it just sounds like like I said, all I see here is a desire to, I think ultimately what women like this seem to want is to just feel safe. They want to, I don't know. There's just feelings, man. I don't know. It's like they want men to tell them that they will protect them without actually doing it. I don't know. It's
Okay. Well,
like
let's go
when your
through-
body starts paying the price for male validation, when your sleep, energy, and confidence revolve around what men thinks is not normal. This whole thing just sounds like projection, because you can't possibly know what other women are actually experiencing. So you're just telling us what you're going through, and then you're acting like it's all women's problem. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, she's basically saying this is my problem, therefore it's all women's problem. Because I'm like looking at this list, I can go through it really quickly. I think there might be a way that I can get it so, or you know what, I could share it. Could I not?
No, I'm looking at it. I can share it. I logged in with Badger live streams by connecting the Google account to it.
All right, so
I'm able to look at it.
Let's jettison the crazy AI slop lady and let's just look at these. You constantly feel anxious about your appearance. Okay, I don't. I mean, I do have some anxiety about my appearance, but not constantly, because I've got other things in my life.
Yeah, but do men do that to you? Or do you do that to you? Or do your the women in your peer group do that? No, I mean, I'm speaking not just at you. I'm talking to like the royal you of women everywhere. Like, when you concern yourself with your appearance, would you have an honest look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I doing this because I'm the one I'm concerned with? Or is it really just men, the miasma, the cloud, the fog called men out there are doing that to me? I don't think that's the case. And the truth is that in this world, if you're looking for someone, then you're going to have to live up to a standard of some kind, and it's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just living in the world. Like a guy can't just like eat whatever he wants, never bathe, and I'm using a man as an example because maybe that'll like work better, because I know that we tend to not like want to see that with women, but any man will have to hold himself to some standard as well if he's hoping to meet someone. And like if he's not and he wants to live out in off the grid and like hunt his own fucking food and live in a cabin that he built himself, hell, have at it. But that guy's not posting Medium blogs. But like anybody who is concerned about like meeting someone and starting a family, guess what? You're going to have to live up to some kind of standards. And what this woman seems to be writing about is that these standards are bad because, first of all, I shouldn't have to live up to them. And also, they're not something that I impose on me. They're something imposed on me by society, by patriarchy, you know? And it's like, no, there's standards. Everybody should live up to some kind of standard.
And these are the most trivial. Like,
yeah,
what the attention you get from men is very trivial. Like the validation, like I don't care. Usually I look like I rolled out of a fucking park bench. I tried to look a little better on stream because I have artistic vanity. So I'm like, when I look at myself in terms of composition, like once the camera is like, oh wow, you know, I don't want to look like shit because I don't like my art to look like shit. And at this point, it's now an art, sort of an art form of a sort. Okay. But this, this isn't like, I don't, and the other thing is that I would say the anxiety that men give me in regards to my appearance, because the funny thing is that what is interesting about men is regardless of your personal opinion, they will usually just judge you honestly. And some guys will find you, it's really just an academic exercise because I'm married, but you know, some guys will think that you're cute and some guys will think that you're a dumbass, you know, and you know, that's fine. That you look stupid, that you look ridiculous, or you look like a man, whatever. It's fine. The anxiety I have over how men view my appearance is eclipsed by the anxiety that women have induced in me. Women, when I put myself out there, and of course I get a lot of pushback from women, like a lot, because I criticize women and I blame women. And I believe that we should do so until we are as comfortable doing those things to women as we are men. And I don't do it like they're physical, which is the usual thing. It seems like it's okay if you're a catty and you insult. I do it based on moral, ethical, and skill-based. Like those are the capacities that I judge. Yeah, skill issues, right? And I get a lot of shit from women. And the thing is that these women who can effusively praise every woman as a perfect 10, they have discovered insecurities that I didn't even know I had. And they will drill down on them. So my anxiety over how men view me, like you don't like me, so what, right? There are plenty of other women who probably are more along in your capacity. My anxiety around how women judge my appearance, like somehow women don't just say you're ugly. They manage to say it in a way where they're also saying you are not worthy of existing. Like it's astounding. So my anxiety around women's opinions is far higher. Unbelievably higher. And I would honestly say, and I'm gonna actually speak for all women because this is what I've observed. I think women are far more anxious about other women's views of their appearance than they are men. And one of the things that makes, I think, this anxiety greater is because women lie, right? They lie about how good looking you are. They lie about whether or not that makeup looks good. They lie and lie and lie to each other. So you never know if she's saying the truth or if it's another lie that she's setting up some kind of mine that she's going to set off in the future. And that creates a horrendous amount of anxiety because I'm actually prefer the position I'm in because I don't rely or I try to minimize how much I put worth into women's opinions of my appearance. So I've never been addicted to the whole, oh, you're a 10. You deserve the world. You're a goddess. I'm not, once somebody starts with that crap, I'm like, yeah, go away. Stop, shut up. Right. So yeah. I've never been in a position where I've been on that uncertainty of, is it really true? Well, if I piss the sisterhood off, they're going to take away my validation as a 10. Right. And if they believe it, it has to be true. And all that crap, I don't even deal with that. I'm like, yeah, screw it. No, I'm put boundaries placed, not going to buy it. Right. But there are women who do. A lot of these women who are extremely unattractive have been gaslit by the sisterhood, but by being gaslit, they are now controlled because they invest their value in the opinion of the sisterhood over their looks, which can be withdrawn at any point because they're not going to get it from men because they aren't actually that good looking. So this is a tool of control. It's a tool of creating anxiety. And if women were really honest with themselves, they would admit that the true source of their anxiety about their appearance is other women, not men. And often what's happening here is they are getting torn down directly or indirectly, or maybe subconsciously. They know if they step a hair out of line, all of that. Oh, I feel like a 10 because my girlfriends tell me I'm a 10. Therefore, I'm a 10 is going to be withdrawn. So they turn to men for validation because of the anxiety they have dealing with women. And then they blame men. Because why? Why is she blaming men for this? Why is she saying, oh, this is because I'm centering men? Why is this discourse? Why does it exist here? Okay, number 2, you physically shrink in male company. Press X to doubt. Did you have anything to say on that?
No. Yeah, I mean, I think she's trying to like set up a narrative again,
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
you set up a narrative.
Yeah, like that men just being in men's presence affects women in a negative way, and women trying to like pretend like that's not happening are just falling into the trap. But it just doesn't ring true to me. Like you already said that it depends on the man. So like, yeah, if
Yeah.
it's a man that you're interested in, if it's a man of high status, if it's a man who has authority over you, like a cop, like a boss, like, you know, someone that you have to sort of like your father, you know, someone who has authority over you, then yeah, you probably will. But that's something that men would do with those men too, because there is hierarchy and it exists. But like if it's a man that's doing something for you, like someone that's in service to you or your kids or a boy or like the delivery driver for Uber, like you're not shrinking in front of that guy or the janitor or the garbage man.
Yeah.
You know, it's the high status men that you're interested in. So this like idea that you were looking for validation from, you know, men in the abstract is I just don't think it rings true. I think it's the men that you want the attention of. So
Yeah, and that's on you. You've already prejudged.
Yeah, it's
like the
on
thing
you.
is that you've already prejudged, and now you are honestly manipulating the men that you're interested in or you want to appeal to
Mm-hmm.
because you want to use feminine vulnerability to get something from them. Okay, well, so sad. Too bad, so sad. And then you're talking about centuries of oppression. Talk about stolen valor. Unless you're centuries old, you haven't been oppressed for centuries.
No.
And also having to do something to get something from someone else that you don't deserve in the first place, that's not you being oppressed. That's an exchange. All right. You exhaust yourself to be effortlessly cool. You're not allowed to be needy or loud or too emotional. You have to be the chill girl, always fun, never dramatic, always limit. Okay.
What does it mean not allowed? Like according to what?
Yeah.
Like did we make that is that a law? Is that in law? Is that like against the law to be loud? Because I mean, women certainly break that law a lot. So it's I mean that's a lie. It's like this thing, you know, you never let me do this thing that you're always doing. It's not that you don't think you can, it's that you don't like that people respond negatively to it. And yes, if you're being needy or loud or emotional, then you're like, regardless of whether you're a male or female, I don't think that goes over well with people. So, but you're trying to make this into a female thing. I mean, maybe women do it more often, but so do children. Do we like put up with it? I guess it depends. In certain Walmarts, I've seen that where people put up with it, but
the other thing is that if you basically what you're saying is you have to not impose upon whatever man you're with. Well, if he's expecting a performance from you and you are delivering one, then there's probably a mismatch in your ability, his status and your ability to actually expect a commitment.
And the other thing
Well,
is that if men like they constantly say that narcissists hide who they are and then reveal them. So is this the same thing? You're hiding who you are, and then once you've suckered him in, you reveal. Not loud or too emotional, and this is code for being abusive. Needy, loud, and emotional is actually what she's saying is, I'm expected not to be abusive in my romantic relationships.
Yeah, I was
Okay?
gonna say
And-
if we just take what she lists off and sort of like invert it. So she says, you're not allowed to be needy or loud. So
Or too emotional.
so basically you should be allowed, you should be permitted to be needy and loud and emotional, and you should also not be chill and be against fun and constantly dramatic and high maintenance. And somehow men have to just deal with that. Like, just take that and do the reverse, because that's what she's saying. Like, I want to do these things, though. I want to be a completely toxic, abusive person sometimes. Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Well, you can, but
That's
do
like-
it on your own. Like, men don't have to put up with that.
Yeah, but also that if this is just really like she's really just playing it up, then the question becomes, you're not with somebody who's committing to you in a life capacity, because somebody who's willing to commit.
Occasionally, yes, people are human and they're going to have their moments. But again, it's ridiculous to assume that you will, if you're in a relationship, that you'll never have hard times.
Yes,
where somebody's
but
like
that's
dealing
my
with them.
point.
Yeah.
If this is what this is the standard she's being held to in her relationship, because I know guys, like, they will they will deal with, there's a certain amount of humanity that comes in a relationship. So you get the depression, you get the down days, you get the parent dying, you get the failing something, or a lawsuit or something. There's always crap that happens in life. And there will be moments where people are upset and angry and frustrated, and they're just loud and emotional, men and women. Somebody who's committed to you for life, you don't have to perform this constantly. So what I'm saying is, who is it that she's performing this for? It's not somebody who's committed to her as a human being. She's performing this for a man who expects a performance. And she knows that if she doesn't give one, if she isn't pleasant, right, she's out the door. Well, who is that really on? Because you can not go after the rat, I don't know what to call them, the men on T. Because we look at the men on T and then look at the women on T. We're talking about several standard deviations of attractiveness, like mismatch, is what I noticed. Now, they may not have been a random selection, but I think they were. So we're looking at mid and below going after like 8 and above. Well, of course, if you're going after 8 and above and he's got multiples, you're going to have to be on your best behavior. But that speaks to you and what you are choosing to do. Not centering men, you are centering specific men. And you are failing to notice that this is a result of your choice. Like, your behavior towards this men, or the behavior that they expect, is because you are centering certain men. And she doesn't even notice that this is her choice. Like, she's basically gone up to the population of men and said, hey, you, I'm going to pay. Yeah, you're coming with me into the room of my life. And then she's like in the room of her life with her selected men and saying, why are these men behaving in this way? Why do I feel like I have to do these things and that things? Because you've selected these men. You've probably selected them because there's a huge gap between your status and their status, and they make your girlfriends jealous. But she's selected them, and she cannot see that this is a consequence of her own actions. And I like I said, I don't think she gets small, puts her best behavior on when it's the dude picking up her garbage.
No, those are not people. So, and again, I think that the there's entitlement in this number 3 throughout the whole thing. There is, because again, there's this idea that even if you were involved with someone, I think that there can be consideration even if you're involved with somebody long term. Like if I have a bad day or if I'm having some problems, financial worries, whatever it is, I don't take it out on Lindsay. I don't do that. Like I mean, like sometimes you can't help it because you're in a state, but when that happens, I'm apologetic and I say, this isn't your fault. I'm sorry. But like, if somebody just says, well, you just like, sometimes I'm just going to be a bitch and you're just going to have to put up with it. It's like, no, I don't. That's ridiculous. Like, what do you think this is? And I think that, yeah, there's just piggybacking off what you said. I think that it's just entitlement to expect that people just have to put up with that. And to like actually be thoughtful in that regard regarding that is not being a pick me or whatever this is. That's ridiculous. It's being considerate. It's not being it's being an adult. It's not being an abusive child.
You put up with more if there's an investment involved, if there's loyalty involved, right? Because you know that this is just a bad day. Okay. And they've spent however many years with you. And if they have a bad day, they have a bad day.
Yeah.
This is not the hoof prints of her choosing men who are willing to invest in her. Okay. 4, you get random bouts of body dysmorphia. Do not steal the valor of people with actual problems. 5, you say yes when your gut screams no.
This is another one that I really dislike because it opens up that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure if Harry the handyman comes up to her, she suddenly discovers her ability to say no.
Yeah. Milton from Office Space.
Yeah, rather than Chad Chaddington, the Chad Fifth, who is a finance bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, my problem with number 5, I just want to say, is that this is another one of these. Like, there's a number of ways that these people blur the lines on what constitutes rape and sexual assault, and this is just another like pebble in that pond that's altering the definition by just saying, oh, if you're just tired and you're not in the mood but you don't say no, then this isn't your fault, he did something. This is what I don't like, is that this is very, very dangerous. It's a very dangerous way to talk about consent, because you're playing with fire here, and of course it's men's lives that are on the line, even if it is a fucking Giga Chad guy. I mean, his life is worth just as much as anybody else's. So,
okay, yes. All right. So you struggle with sleep and restlessness after rejection. Well, but rejection. This is the other thing. Like, what standard are you holding yourself to? Being rejected is awful. Like, you can allow that to be awful without just living constantly with it or blaming men. I mean, you can have human emotions, and they can be there.
Where women can't be, you can't reject them.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Like, I think that's probably
can't say no to women, but men, they can't complain.
Yeah, but what I'm pointing out. Okay, you struggle with sleep and restlessness after rejection. He flirts with someone else, he loses interest, and suddenly you can't eat, you can't sleep, you're just staring at your phone like it holds your value. Your body treats rejection like trauma because it's not just him leaving, it's the loss of validation you were feeding off. Just cluster B things.
Yeah, right. Just cluster B things for sure.
My greatest freaking terror is losing my dog and my husband. Like, having to say goodbye to them. reject like that is, but that is about actually losing someone's presence in your life. What is this really about? You no longer get your validation. That's it. That's narc talk right there. Right? Okay. Justifiably rejected. But here's the thing, like it's narc talk, but it's also like rejection does hurt. So it's okay if it bothers you, right? That's not something you need to blame on men. You're just a human being and it happens. But you're right. Because she's bringing this up as like some kind of trauma, it's almost like men shouldn't be able to reject us, which is also narc talk. You always feel like you're performing. Yes, because you're a narcissist. Okay, let's finish off this.
That's basically what it is.
That's basically what it is. All right. You're a narcissist, potentially with comorbid with antisocial personality disorder. Please don't think that you have the right to kill people or kill men or take what you want from them sexually. I think the world is in more danger from you than you are from the world, my friend Riri, or Rennie or whatever. Okay, let's finish it off. The AI slot.
What else is it? Oh, there's
like
more, but it's
minutes.
not about the article. Okay.
It's the next one. It's like her next entry in her endless saga of centering and decentering men, because she loved that delicious validation. She finds that men are a really suitable narc supply, and she loved the delicious validation. And goddamn, that she have to do anything to get that delicious validation. Like, why does there have to be men attached to validation, right? Why can't validation just rain from the sky? Why do you actually have to do human things to get validated by humans? The world should be a narcissist paradise.
I got a super chat I got to read.
Oh, cool.
So Albatross gave us $10 and says, y'all remember Meerkat Manor? Pretty much every episode revolves around one female meerkat trying to overthrow the matriarch, or the matriarch bullying a rival clan. Why does that feel familiar? I never heard of it, but thank you for telling us.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about it. Maybe we should watch Meerkat Manor, but is that
a cartoon or something? Or
okay, here's the clue. It's not a cartoon, it's an actual documentary about meerkats. Meerkats are alloparenters like us, which means that you need the resource of multiple individuals to raise your children. So there is a lot of politicking going on with meerkats, just like there's a lot of politicking going on with female humans. They are constantly trying to acquire more resource and destroy other women's ability to maintain or acquire resources themselves. That's the way it do. And a successful culture gets women on page with the idea that everybody can sort of support each other in the resources that they have in their little spaces, their little bubble of resources. And we can, respect each other and not be constantly driven by toxic jealousy, destroying those resources, which ultimately overall impoverishes society. But we're not in that society. We're in a society that is 100% ruled by women's toxic competition. All of this talk of patriarchy and male gaze and male privilege, this is just deflecting from that fact. And honestly, I think that probably that reflects a good portion of human history, is the competition between women over resources. It's why I absolutely do not like when feminists say, oh, it's men sending men to war. No, it's not. It's society's resource pressure causing one society to prey on another in order to gain more resource. And that resource pressure doesn't come from men. It comes from women. Okay. Yep. And then women also raise their boys to believe that a part of their identity is in that kind of military service to society and society's interests. Okay. We act out emotional habits that are put into us by our mothers and our parents generally, but our mothers specifically, because they're usually the closest to that kind of the most wet clay, shall we say, the wettest clay. By the time it gets to your father, the clay's a little set. I mean, it's a little bit of mobility, but it's really mom that's molded the most of it. Okay. All right. So anyway, I went in a little squirrel. So
All right, that's all right. So
squirrel
let's
hunt.
play this then.
Between women who've
Yeah.
centered men and those who haven't. And I'm still somewhere in between. By Rini Flame Hot Pepper Emoji. 2.9K likes. There's a huge, almost impossible to ignore difference between women who've moved men out of the center of their lives and those who still live for male attention. And no, it's not just about who's dating and who's single. It's not about hating men either. God, no. It's about something deeper. Something that shows up in their energy, the way they move, the way they live. Here's the biggest difference. Women who've decentered men see through the bullshit, while women who still center men fall for it. You very well damn know I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by this.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's like her
Kel?
whole Medium blog is about
Yeah.
decentering men. She's basically like a female MGTOW, right? But like a lot angrier.
Well,
So-
a lot more strangely like it's her entire identity is decentering men, which is still centered on men,
Mhm.
right? I think a lot of like MGTOW contenters sort of, got a little more quiet because you can't constantly talk about, oh, I'm not,
Yeah, no,
I'm
they
not.
generally have just walked away. But like
You just walk away.
she's
and
kind of
just
like
go
in the
live your
red
life.
pill rage of that. So, but like she's not gonna get out of it, I guess.
But also it's like, again, what she talks about centering men, she's not really talking about centering men. She's
Mhm.
talking about centering that delicious validation, that delicious
Yeah.
narc supply she gets from men.
What's
Like,
the name of this? What's the name of this
okay.
this
This is it.
blog?
I got it, Brian. My squirrel brain has erupted with the correct or a possible metaphor. It's like saying because you like steaks, you're centering cows.
Right.
You're centering
I do like
cows. You're
steak.
centering cows. Yes, you're obviously you're centering cows, Brian, and you need to consider how much that impacts yourself, your validation of self because you center cows.
Yeah.
You like steak, that means you're not liking yourself that
Yeah, I
much
get it.
less because you like steak. I don't know.
Right.
But that's
No, I
the
get
thing.
it.
Like she's saying, I center men because I like the sweet, sweet nectar of men's approval. That's not centering men. That's centering what you get out of them. Okay. So fundamentally, she might be female MGTOW, but she's starting from a completely wrong premise.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Here we go. Women who've decentered men are no longer accepting crumbs. When a woman no longer treats male attention like oxygen, her entire vibe shifts. She doesn't get butterflies because a man remembered her birthday. She doesn't feel blessed because someone treated her decently, like a human. She doesn't fall for love bombing or empty promises. Because she knows, basic kindness isn't a grand romantic gesture. It's basic.
I think that
she's entitled again. Like it's not like remember your birthday. So like if men don't do that, are you gonna get upset? I think you
yes,
are.
of course they are.
Yeah.
Do you remember men's birthday?
Who
Yeah,
cares?
it's not even on the agenda.
Yeah.
But okay, but the premise, like the difference between her and MGTOW is she's talking about something psychological. Like MGTOW are talking about like no women in life, right? Because of the financial and legal problems that so it's not even, well, to a degree it's women, but it's also the legal status of women relative to men, right?
Yeah.
So these are concrete and practical issues. She's talking about the fact that she gets narc supply from men, and men have opinions about that. I think it's categorically different. She's not just talking about, hey, I don't know, I just want to live my life, do my thing. She's talking about, I am addicted to validation from others. I probably find it easier to get from men, and I don't like that. Even the low bar that men expect from me in order to get that validation, I don't want to have to jump, because validation should fall from the sky like manna. Like,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't, men are to blame because men control everything, including gravity. Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
You decenter men, you stop rewarding crumbs. You don't ignore disrespect. You stop making excuses for bad behavior because you're afraid of being alone. You stop treating attention like it's proof of your worth. You expect effort, respect, consistency, and you don't apologize for it.
This is starting to sound a lot like female dating strategy stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, you don't. I don't know, like.
But
yeah,
she
you-
also believes, because I'm looking at some of her other work, she's definitely a feminist. Like she says, she has one called another blog that's called "They Say Not All Men Until These 4 Things Happen to Them." So obviously that's an issue. 11 sneaky red flags you're dealing with an entitled man. So she's obviously like a feminist that, like, I don't know, like she likes them, but she doesn't like them, but she doesn't trust them, but she
She likes the
doesn't want to give.
validation.
She likes the validation. Yeah, she likes the
Yeah,
emotional.
you got to look
She
at
likes
all
the
of everything she
emotional
says
stuff.
in that
Mhm.
context. She likes validation from men.
Yeah,
You know,
but she doesn't.
maybe it's
doesn't
safer, maybe it's easier than validation from women, whatever reason. But she likes validation from men. She likes narc supply from men.
Mm-hmm.
And she either is trying to argue that she should have to do less for it, or she is indirectly sabotaging her competition for it. Because if her competition behaves in this way, they will price themselves out of the market and she'll have a larger share. So
Yep.
we could be looking at some Meerkat Manor politics going on here. You know, she could
Mhm.
have some pretty sharp elbows for her fellow female narcs feeding off of the herd of men. Okay.
All right.
That's why women who've decentered men seem hard to impress. Not because they're cold or bitter, but because they finally see through the cheap tricks. Women
Okay.
who still center men are okay with bare minimum.
What?
Just because you expect more doesn't mean you're not still centering men. Just because you think you've raised your standards, like you expect more validation, you expect more steak from the cow, that doesn't mean you're no longer centering the steak on your plate. I don't like see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
she wants to extract more resources from men. That means she's no longer centering them in her resource extraction operation. No.
Yeah. Right.
You know, there is a source of resources, lady, right in front of you. There's a source of validation and self-respect that's right in front of you. Right in front of you. Okay? Expecting more from men means you're still expecting it from men. But you know what you could do? You could learn to give it to yourself in a real way. Knowing how you do that? Acquire skills, maintain ethics, develop morals, advocate for things other than your narc supply. Like, you know, get out of your head and care about something else besides yourself.
What a wild
All right.
concept.
Wild, huh?
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, when a woman's identity still quietly revolves around men, she becomes easier to fool and easier to hurt. Sounds harsh, but sadly, this happens too often to ignore. She's more likely to accept the bare minimum and call it love. She's more likely to cling to situations that drain her because at least someone wants her.
I hope you enjoy being alone, because the only thing you've changed is how often you'll get validation from men. To be honest, like she said, okay, I'm only going to take validation from men when they validate me even more. That means you're going to get less overall, right? Like this again, she's talking about validation from men. Now she's saying she's not going to allow men to ghost her. I don't know
Yeah.
how she's going to stop that. She's not going to allow men to reject her. She's not going to accept
Well,
disrespect
she's gonna
in order to get
she's going
validation.
to try her best to not care what men think, but obviously she's
But
writing blogs about it, so she does.
yes,
Like, she's
yeah, you sort of do.
writing a lot about it and getting a lot of people in her comments going, "Oh yeah, girl, I feel that." Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yes,
she's only
queen.
going to accept steaks from cows who are taught to respect her. But that
Yes.
means that you're going to have steaks few and far between. You're going to have less validation. Can you handle that? Can you handle a restriction in your narc supply?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck.
She's more likely to forgive things that should have been deal breakers. Why? Because validation feels like survival. And when you're desperate for validation, you'll ignore every red flag just to keep it coming. It's not weakness. It's just what happens when your self-esteem is outsourced. And manipulators can smell that from miles away. It's not about being too picky.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
about
wait.
having clarity.
You're still
Manipulators.
censoring that.
Oh god. Yeah.
Okay, so she wants to do less to get validation from men, which means that she's like a farmer who doesn't want to actually feed his cows but still wants steaks. She's going to want to do less. She's going to do less to get validation from men. Right? But she's still getting it from men. That hasn't changed. Yep. She's just decided that she wants less of it because she don't want to make an effort. Yay?
Yay.
People love calling strong women too picky or impossible to please. But it's not about pickiness. It's about finally seeing reality without...
Is that a strong woman? I mean, like... I think people should hold themselves to standards, but there is such a thing as unreasonable standards too.
Yes, but also, has she demonstrated anything approximating strength? She's essentially said that men are the source of my narc supply and I want to do less and get more, but I don't know how to do that. And if that doesn't happen, it's because men don't respect me or women or something. It's like, no, if you want narc supply from men, you do the work. And if you don't want to do the work, then you get less and you live with it. Like, I don't know why anybody has to be dragged into this passion play in your own head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
Fog of desperation. When a woman doesn't lose her mind over a bare minimum man, it's not because she's high maintenance. It's because she knows she doesn't need a man to survive. Or she's perfectly happy and content being alone. She chooses love when it's healthy, not because she's starving for it. And that scares the hell out of the wrong people. I'll keep this short. The women who've decentered glow differently. They don't move through begging to be chosen.
Well, okay. The women who want narc supply from men but don't want to do the work glow differently. Because that's what she's defining. You know, they want the validation, but they don't want to do the work. And somehow they glow differently. They haven't actually done anything to improve their need for the validation, probably. Well, I think that glow is the glow of, like, you know how vampires have like a glamour that attracts?
You're talking about like Twilight vampires?
Yeah, but other vampires have like this kind of miasma.
Oh, where they can like charm people with their glare. Yeah,
lure.
Sure.
That's their hunger of this flock of female narcs feeding on the herd of men. That's the glow of the hunger. She's just, you know what? I think you're right. I think she's just trying to seduce her competition into
self-sabotage. Yeah. So I think she's trying to seduce other women into self-sabotage by convincing them that actually those men that they're after, they don't really want them. They just want validation from them. And that basically like opens things up for her. Plus, actually, you do need men, even if you don't need them in your life as partners. You need them to keep society running so that you can post this bullshit opinion on the internet and like have a house and electricity and running water and sanitation and roads, like
I
everything else.
swear.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like, there should at
I
least be an
know.
abstract appreciation for the civilization that men have built for you. And there
Yeah,
isn't.
but
It's just like, I don't need men. I'm doing just fine with my job
I
and
want
car
to point something out
and
to this.
fossil fuels and light and electricity and, and water, internet.
I want to
Those
point
will,
something
they
out.
just grow on the internet tree.
They just fall from the sky. Otherwise,
Yeah, they
it's
just
men.
grow on the resource tree, on the utilities
Otherwise,
tree.
and if they don't fall from the sky, it's men not giving you the right to jump off a cliff and not go splat. Like,
Yeah, and
okay,
not die.
I think that this is really frustrating, but in my conversation with this feminist on Twitter, I think she's a feminist, and this is something that is becoming very clear to me. Many women do not understand the concept of something outside men's control. They think if they jump off a cliff and they go splat, it's because a man made that happen. They don't understand that they made that happen as a result of their actions. And it's like, so you say women should figure out that men are responsible for keeping the world, but I don't think that they are many of them are able to disconnect men from the world. So you're basically saying that the world is responsible for the world, and they're like, what? That men, and it's like like I said in the beginning of this, or actually a little bit ways, decentering men for most women would be understanding that there are things outside of men's control, and even if they don't want it to happen, they can't stop it to happening. And you can't sit there and say to Western men, don't take our rights away, when they're not the ones taking them away. It's the simple fact that you haven't performed as stewards of the culture, and you've constructed a framework that's destroyed it to the point where it's being taken over by a more effective culture, right? And they don't understand that. It's like, oh, but it's men who are doing it. It's those other men over there. No, it's the culture they learned from their mothers that's doing it. It's the women in that culture who are creating a stable foundation for their men to at least survive in. Whereas you are not doing that. That is a direct result of your actions, not something that men are failing to do for you, ladies. And I went over and over and over to this. And I'm like, it's like trying to teach a feral child how to talk. She does not understand, and I do not know how to make her understand that there are things outside of men's control. And when things happen to her, it's not because men made it happen. And it's like this feminist ideology has poisoned women's minds to the point where they're no longer functional. Like they no longer function to understand.
You said it, not me.
They no longer. Hey, am I wrong though?
No, you're not wrong. I'm just making a joke.
Okay, they don't understand. Like this whole patriarchy narrative has led women to the point where they do not understand that there are things outside of men's control.
Yeah.
So when you say things like maybe you should have some gratitude for men creating the world, they hear maybe you should have gratitude. Maybe you should have gratitude for the world creating itself. It's like it just doesn't make any sense to them because they don't understand that there's a world outside of what men have created. They don't, because everything is patriarchy. My hands are patriarchy. My eyes are patriarchy. My hair is patriarchy. This desk is patriarchy. There is nothing outside patriarchy, Brian. So how could there be something that men have constructed the world out of when the world is literally the body of men? Like
it's true.
It's like feminism has destroyed women's brains. And I'm not even saying that it's like made them not want to have children. It has literally destroyed their ability to understand themselves as full human beings and understand men as having limitations. And I don't know how to correct it at this point. It's terrifying. Okay.
Yep. That's why we need to propagandize them in the opposite direction. Like that's what I think that's the only way. All right, let's listen.
They
a little
choose
rough.
themselves first, and it shows. While other women are stuck in a cycle of chasing, hurting, and forgiving too much, these women are out there living their lives, building their peace, protecting their energy. It's not bitterness. It's not arrogance. It's clarity. And once you taste
Yes,
that kind of
well,
clarity,
well,
you never go back.
some women are they're protecting their cows from predators. They're feeding their cows. They're making sure to move them into pastures with better forage. When they put down the hay during the winter. They give them they shelter them. When some women are doing that, other women are saying these cows owe us their meat, and if they don't produce it, that's because they hate humans. Therefore, I should have to do nothing. And again, it's just a bunch of women preying on men for narc supply. That's it. That's all she's describing. I want to get more and do less.
Because I deserve it. Yeah.
Because I deserve it. Because I've been excluded from it by men. Because men are not lazy. Did you see Bear Gillis Island? The men versus women?
Oh, you talking about the one where all the men were like partying and all the women were struggling? That's another one.
Where the women, they weren't partying. They were just they were effective.
Well, I'm joking about that. I'm saying the men were effective, but they were also optimistic. They were having a good time. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like they were struggling together, but they were like they had each other and it was cool.
Yeah.
They were growing it up.
I mean, there were some conflicts between them. But one thing I noticed is their water was significantly better quality. Like it was clear, whereas the females' water looked like freaking poop water, which they had to drink. But anyway, like I recently listened to a commentary on it, and the guy pointed out that more than anything, the women were lazy. Right? They just didn't work.
They didn't want to work, right?
They didn't want to work. They just sat and did nothing. They were freaking lazy. And the men, they would get up in the morning, they would work, they'd get down, they'd sleep in the evening, get up, sleep. The women just didn't do anything, or they didn't do enough to keep themselves in water and food. And it's like, this is just it. This is a narcissist, a female narcissist saying, I should have to do less for my narc supply, women most affected, because she's lazy. That's it. It has nothing to do with any of these moral bullshit that feminists make up. Like most of it comes down to, I'm lazy and I want men to do it for me. Right? I'm lazy. Right? I think, or I'm self-righteous. I think that I should have this because men have it and I'll do it better, even though I won't, because I'm self-righteous, right? I'm lazy. I'm self-righteous. And all of these, also, I don't want to seem stupid. I don't want to seem stupid. It all comes down to this desire to maintain this feeling that you are the moral center, that you are smart, and that you are hardworking when you're actually lazy. And it's this maintaining this emotional feeling. But yeah, like we have literally for an hour and a half listened to a female narc complain that getting her narc supply from men is too much work. And the fact that she has to do anything is centering men, which is something feminism, which it shouldn't happen. Men should just let it fall down, let their validation fall from the sky. Okay, I'm good. Do we have anything left?
No, I mean it goes silent after that.
Yeah, just her like pondering.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Pondering the orb.
All right.
Oh, well, let me see if we got any super chows. I guess we didn't. You would have mentioned it. Or I should poke.
No, I was, but like there could be something stuck.
Under attack from Void Cat again. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Although it looks like I've developed a system that's a bit more stable and impervious to her particular forms of attack. No, we don't have any super chows. All right, so I guess that's if you want to send a super chow at any point after the show is over, feedthebadger.com/justthetip. It's good to send them there because then we can address them at the next show. And if you want to support the show, feedthebadger.com/support. Make sure Void Cat is able to continue to engage in her shenanigans. No, you're going to be squeezed now. You're going to be squeezed. Now is the time for squeezing. And if you want to join us in our patron Discord, badgernation.online. And also we are doing a meetup in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, September 13th. I believe there's another one also in Dayton on the 16th of August, but I don't have any more information on that. So just get in the Discord and you'll find out more information about that at badgernation.online. All right. I think that's good. Back to you, Brian, unless you have any further things to say.
No, I think that's good. If you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think about what we discussed on the show today. And please, please, please share this video because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of Maintaining Frame. And we'll talk to you guys in the next one.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.